This series is not meant to be an accurate representation of the current NASCAR Cup Series. This is a fictional series, ran on NR2003 for enjoyment. I hope you enjoyed today's race.
Welcome everybody to the NR2003 season. It is time to race at the track that is too tough to tame, Darlington Raceway. It is an unbelievable track that was built a long time ago, one of the oldest tracks on the NASCAR circuit, a very challenging racetrack for drivers who have to find that fine line between the wall, hitting the wall, and being fast here in Darlington. These cars with the composite bodies should have a better race than we've seen in years past, where if you get in the wall, you're going to cut a tire down, you're going to have an issue. With these composite bodies, it actually should be much better, where you can actually make some contact with that wall and be able to continue. So hopefully that will be the way the race plays out. Without further ado, we're going to get the cars fired up and cars on track for the race here in Darlington.
Drivers, start your engines.
The command to fire engines has been given. Starting lineup for today's event: Ross Chastain and Austin Cindric on your front row. For the second week in a row, Hendrick Motorsports showing up, putting 3 of their cars in the top 10. 2 of which in the top 5, Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. Chase Elliott not too far behind in the 7th position. Pace car peels in. Cars will come into the restart zone and see the green flag here. Green flag in the air, we're racing in Darlington. The track that's too tough to tame. Who will be the one to tame it? We're gonna find out. Cars dive down into turn number 1. Ross Chastain to the early lead. Looks like the bottom lane is actually the lane that is going to be the place to be here. As we see, the top 3 all started on the bottom lane. Chastain, Bowman, and Reddick. All 3 of those drivers have actually won this season. Actually, the driver in 4th has also won, Chase Elliott. We talked about him at the conclusion of last week's broadcast. Elliott needed to show up, and it looks like Elliott doing just that. We actually did have a spin. It was Ryan Preece, no caution for the spin with Ryan Preece. We'll get you a replay of what happened to him. Cody Ware got into the outside wall a little bit, hooked by the 66. But there was no caution as Preece was off the racetrack and was able to get it fired back up. That's what happened to Ryan Preece on lap number 2. Back live, Ryan Preece is coming to pit road. We're being told he has a tire down from the contact with the wall, so the day not the way that Ryan Preece wanted to start it, as he's going to be stuck on pit road. Back at the front of the field, it's Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott. You could put all 3 of those drivers under a blanket. Down into turn number 1. Looks like Reddick may want to take a look underneath Chastain, but not going to have the run to do it. And if he's not going to do it, Chase Elliott sure will. Down into turn number 3, Elliott looking on the inside of Tyler Reddick, trying to make the pass for a second. But the top side is very, very strong here in Darlington, so Elliott not able to make that move. And with that little bit of racing between Elliott and Reddick, it looks like Chastain is going to be able to extend his lead out a little bit, but we'll see how far he can actually extend it out. A little bit ahead of him is the 15 of Ryan Preece. riding around with damage. Lap traffic very difficult to get around here at Darlington because the top lane is the dominant lane. That's where everybody wants to be. A little bit further back, you've got Eric Almirola racing with Brad Keselowski. Chase Briscoe, haven't talked about him much here this season, but Briscoe having a good day. And Almirola, man, he was loose up by the wall, and that was a scary situation for Almirola. Almirola still up on the high side. Looks like he's going to get... Freight Train as the bottom just seems so strong right now. Some of these guys getting stalled out. So Almirola going backwards right now, not the way that he really wants to go. Front of the field, the lead has heated up again. Chase Elliott has been able to get by Tyler Reddick, and now Elliott looking at Ross Chastain. Reddick lost 3 positions when Elliott took that spot. Seems as though if you're gonna fight, you've got to make it worth it. Turn 1, Elliott right on the bumper of Chastain. Is he gonna be there? Looks like he might be, but Chastain ran a little bit of a higher lane and was able to take more of a defensive line. Have to be careful because Austin Cindric is also there waiting. Top 5, bumper to bumper. As I said, the lap traffic is not too far ahead with the 15 of Ryan Preece. And you can see the defensive line that Ross Chastain's actually running. He's running slightly higher than Chase Elliott, able to get a run off the corner. And here comes Cindric. Cindric looking to the inside of Chase Elliott. Not going to be good for Elliott if he can't get the car. And that is going to cost him quite a bit, I think, if he can't clear Cindric back down into turn number 1. That's going to cost him. Looks like he will. Cindric went to make the move and couldn't make it happen. Now, this group has got to hunt down Ross Chastain again. The biggest thing for them is to keep pressure on the 1 car. Chastain, you want to keep pressure on him until he gets to that lap traffic. Maybe hold him up behind a lap car could help out your chances of getting by him. And Kurt Busch made the pass at the right moment because you can see Cindric dropping like a rock as Kurt Busch was able to get under him in turn number 1. Chase Elliott definitely one of the fastest cars on the track right now. Fastest lap goes to Brad Keselowski, but as we talked about, Chase Elliott in second with the second fastest lap, pretty close, almost mirrored Brad Keselowski's lap. Chastain, you have to go all the way down to 28th fastest to find out where he is, so Elliott definitely quicker, and now you can see they've actually broken away a little bit from Chastain and Elliott. Chase just needs to be smart about when he makes this move. While all that was happening, the 8 car did get around the 45 of Kurt Busch. Elliott just not quite there yet. See him trying to get a little bit of air on the nose to work over Chastain, but it's not looking like it's going to be enough. But this is the pressure I was talking about. You've got to keep pressure on Chastain and stay right with him. One little bobble of him trying to get around this lap traffic and the lead could be yours. Still very early in this race. After the 8 of Reddick, he's going to be back on the back bumper of Chase Elliott here. Elliott a little bit closer to the 1 car. Will he step out and make a move? Not looking like he's going to do that, but running a little bit of a lower line than Chastain. I think that's actually hurting the 9. That slightly lower lane Chastain is able to hold pretty true on the exit of the corner. You can see these three are back together, with the 45 also right behind, trailing in fourth. Back through the field. Looks like Chase Briscoe may have gotten a wall, as he was getting passed left and right. So Briscoe may have tagged the wall, gonna get back in line behind Justin Haley. Back at the front of the field, the top four throw a blanket on him because they are bumper to bumper going into turn number 3. Tyler Reddick, he has a pretty quick race car. Cars running this close together. Look at Reddick looking down low on Chase Elliott. Fake to the inside. But you can tell that Chastain is not the fastest car out of this front group. He's actually holding these guys up quite a bit. If you see the accordion effect kind of happening where these cars will get separated and then get back together, it's because Chastain is actually slowing them up, and passing is so difficult. But this is definitely where the battle is going to be. Not catching the lap traffic as rapid as I thought that they were going to. I think that has to do with the fact that Ryan Preece had to put 4 fresh tires on that 15 machine because of that tire down from the spin. Reddick looking again underneath Elliott, but doesn't have enough to quite get there. Some great racing here at the front, like a chess match. If you make the wrong move at the wrong time, you could find yourself going backwards. We've seen that happen multiple times, but the top 5 separated by less than half a second right now, and that is unbelievable. There's Elliott running a slightly higher line there. Gave it up a little bit on entry, but will he gain it on exit? A little bit of a run down the straightaway, but not quite enough. Chastain, Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell, your top 5. There goes Kurt Busch underneath the 8 of Tyler Reddick, and Kurt Busch going to make that work. And look at what that did to Tyler Reddick. Wow. Reddick lost 2 spots. Look at the momentum lost for the 8 car. Top 5, 4 of them have won so far this season. The only one of the top 5 that has not is the 20 of Christopher Bell, and he is still looking for his first win of the season. Toyota has struggled at times this season. Got a win in Auto Club with Kurt Busch and a win in COTA with Kyle Busch, but that's about all we've seen out of Toyota this year. Toyota did show up for the All-Star race, not a points event, but they did win there with Martin Truex Jr. in dominant fashion. And one important note, not sure if I noted it when Truex had won at Homestead, but Truex winning there is actually bigger than you think, because Homestead is in the playoffs. We do go back there for the playoffs, so pretty big for Truex to get a win at a track that is in the playoffs. So if Truex can somehow point his way in, it will be good for him having a win there, and good in general for Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota to have gotten a win at a track that the playoffs are at. As this race has progressed as well, here we can see that the front of the pack is actually closing up more and more. Top 6 now within half a second of one another. And I'm expecting that to close in here in this lap. There goes Kurt Busch looking to the inside of Elliott. So 2 by 2. Looks like Busch gonna make the pass, but Elliott battling hard back on the outside. Will he clear Reddick again? Hopefully he will, because we've seen how detrimental it is if you're stuck up at the top. He will not, and look at the speed lost for the 9 machine, unfortunately. Same thing for Christopher Bell, as both of those guys, huge speed loss when you get stuck on the high side. Elliott goes from running 2nd all the way to running somewhere around 5th or 6th, but still stuck up on the high side with a big train of race cars underneath him. He has to clear Austin Cindric before they get to turn 1. If he does not, he's definitely going to go backwards, and it's not looking like he's going to be able to. So back further for the 9 of Elliott, as well as the 45 of Kurt Busch. We saw him a little bit slow on the top side, but he has a hole to be able to get in back behind William Byron. While all this is happening, Ross Chastain has extended his lead back out to about half a second, but Tyler Reddick is closing that down here in turn 3 and 4. Definitely starting to see some comers and goers here. Very difficult to pass the leader. Looks like Elliott has been able to recover in 10th right now, but detrimental for his effort here. We are over halfway. Expecting some green flag pit stops here anytime. Back at the front of the field, we have a battle for the lead again between Reddick and Chastain. This is one of those races that is more than likely going to be won on pit road. We do have some cars coming to pit road already. Looks like Eric Jones coming down to pit road a little bit early for Jones. Not sure if he has an issue. Looks like he did get into the outside wall a little bit. There's the damage on the 43 machine. And we can confirm the 43 did get into the outside wall. That is why he is pitting. Ross Chastain, he is making his pit stop. So this is going to be key for these drivers. Looks like Chastain is the only one out of the leaders that actually came down. Tyler Reddick assumes the lead again. Will we see them this time? Looks like Reddick is slowing up to come to pit lane. Chastain kind of forcing his hand. Has to come down. The tire wear is big here. And you see Truex and looks like the whole Joe Gibbs party. All 4 Joe Gibbs cars coming down to pit lane. Looks like Daniel Suarez also got some damage on the side of his car. You can see the damage on the right side. He must have got into the wall a little bit here in Darlington. The 34, the 66, you saw a little glimpse of their cars as well. Damage on the sides of their race cars. So definitely a place that can jump out and bite you if you're not careful. And here comes the rest of the leaders. William Byron, Kurt Busch, Austin Cindric. Very important not to speed. And this is a big group of cars that has come down. Looks like back there you see Blaney. He's got some damage as well. So car is definitely getting into the outside wall. Logano has damage. Four tires for all these drivers. This track does wear out tires pretty heavy. Back on the racetrack. You can find Ross Chastain. He has extended the lead after the pit cycle. This will be the battle for the lead. Chastain and Reddick. But Chastain with a big lead. They are in the same corner, but a lot of work to be done. It looks like we will get through green flag pit stops without incident. Kyle Busch Gives a little bit of a bump to Brad Keselowski. That was a move out of my way type bump. The 18 moves himself to 7th. Looks like everybody has cycled around. Now the lead, 2 seconds. Almost 3 seconds for Chastain. Driver that has kind of snuck into the conversation is Denny Hamlin. He has won at Darlington a lot, and Hamlin now running in 3rd. Kind of snuck into this conversation, but still quite a ways back. Taking a look at our static camera looking down the front straightaway, you can just see the entry to the corner for a lot of drivers here. Interesting to see the lines that drivers run. This is a cluster of cars here. Larson, he started up towards the front. Larson, our Texas winner. Chastain has actually backed his speed off a little bit. Started to get into some lap traffic. Spotter told him to back it down. He did not have to get around them the way they figure it. Chastain's got a big enough lead where he should not have to worry about getting around some of this lap traffic. But Denny Hamlin has actually gotten around Tyler Reddick. Taking a look at some of the fast laps here, Hamlin has actually run the 4th fastest lap of the race, so definitely some speed in the 11. Does he have enough time to go up there and catch Ross Chastain? That is the question. Hamlin did cut into it by 4/10 that lap. Very important to get around this lap traffic pretty efficiently to get up there and battle Chastain. This is the only lap car in Hamlin's way, and it looks like he's definitely going to get held up here by the 51 of Cody Ware. This is what I was talking about with lap traffic. They get kind of stuck behind people, and then you can't get around him. Hamlin's got to make the move here. Looks like he will. Did still cut into the lead by 1/10 that time, but that's not going to get it done if he wants to get up there and challenge the one for the win. Taking a look at Chastain, he's on the back straightaway right now. No lap traffic around him, but it's going to get to the point where if Hamlin does start cutting into this lead more and more and more, Chastain's going to have to pick it back up and get back into the lap traffic, one of them being his teammate, so that might help him a little bit. Another 2.5 tenths cut off of Chastain's lead that time, but even at that rate, Hamlin will not catch the one. Has to be more than that if Hamlin wants to get up there and challenge him for the lead. See how much he will cut into the lead this time. Off of 4, Hamlin onto the front straightaway, carrying speed. Another 2 tenths, but still not going to be enough. 2/10 a lap will not be enough to catch Ross Chastain unless something happens to the one car. I don't see that happening. Chastain has driven a perfect race so far on the pole, has led from the start. Ross already with a win in Atlanta earlier in the season. Hamlin looking for his first of the season. Now that lap was 4/10 of a second. 4/10 of a second would probably get him there. But he has got to race really hard here and hope that he can get up there and catch him. 5 laps to go, now 4 laps to go. It's another 2/10. Very interesting at how this is going to play out here. Because now we can actually see Chastain in the camera view. Hamlin has cut the lead down again, but still, I don't think it's going to be enough. It is going to be a close one, I think, here in Darlington. Race going to come down to maybe the last few laps here. Hamlin can see the back bumper of Chastain. And we're coming to 2 to go. Hamlin was almost 3 seconds back. He has been able to run Chastain down. 2 to go. And the lead now only 4/10 of a second. Hamlin down the back straightaway. Seems like he's just closing so much on Chastain down the back. Hamlin to the back bumper of Ross Chastain. Coming to the white flag. Hamlin to the inside. Chastain is going to lose the lead going into turn 1. With 1 lap remaining, Hamlin ran him down from 3 seconds back. Down the back straightaway, Denny Hamlin has taken the lead here on the last lap of Darlington. What a pass, what a race for Denny Hamlin at Joe Gibbs Racing. Hamlin will go to victory lane in Darlington. What a race for Denny Hamlin. Chastain dominated. Absolutely dominated this race, but ultimately doesn't come away with the victory. Hamlin will come onto the front straightaway, and he's going to celebrate with his team and do a burnout for these fans here in Darlington. What a race. And Denny Hamlin will bring it down to the front straightaway here. What a race for the 11. He's going to burn it down in that number 11 FedEx Toyota. I mean, what a race. Being able to catch Ross Chastain from that far back. This has got to feel good for Hamlin, Joe Gibbs, Toyota, everybody who's involved with this Toyota racing program. A little bit of tire mark on the side of his race car. Truex had come over and gave him a celebratory bump, but Denny Hamlin, your winner in Darlington. An unbelievable finish here in Darlington. This track never fails to have a good race. Denny Hamlin, your winner. The unofficial results here from Darlington Raceway. Wow, I mean, a heartbreaker for Ross Chastain. Chastain led most of this race, and actually I believe he had led every lap besides the pit cycle that was here at Darlington, but an unbelievable race for Chastain. He seemed to have had it won. Hamlin was 3 seconds back. Just about 2.72 seconds. I remember I glanced at the screen, and he was able to run Chastain down and pass him coming to the line. I mean, what more can you ask for from a race where you've got a great driver like Ross Chastain who has led a whole race, and then you have Denny Hamlin who has just got a knack for this racetrack. He won here so many times, and it was almost meant to be for Hamlin, running him down from that amount of time back. I mean, what a race! I don't, I'm speechless. I mean, it was a great race to watch. We saw some passing. We saw how difficult it was to pass the leader. But with that big run that Hamlin had gotten off of turn number 4, he was able to get side by side with Chastain into 1, and we've seen throughout this race what happens when you get side by side like that. And Chastain just didn't have the speed to compete with the 11 car. So, Denny Hamlin, your winner tonight. Taking a look at the points here. I mean, unbelievable how the season has actually unfolded. We've had many different winners so far this season. We only have two-time winners, and that's Harvick and the 48 of Alex Bowman. So we've had a lot of new names, some different names. We talked about Joe Gibbs Racing and their struggles that they've had so far this season. And, you know, this race here with Hamlin going up and winning this race, that was a huge move. And I think it ultimately came down to Hamlin's pit stop a couple laps later than Chastain, where he had the tires to be able to catch that one car past Reddick and catch Chastain there at the end to get to come away with the victory. Taking a look at the schedule here, that's going to come up. But wow, what a race. It was exciting, a lot of good racing throughout the whole duration of this race. And then it all came down to the last lap between the 1 and the 11. And Denny Hamlin going to come away your victor here in Darlington tonight. We thank all of you for tuning in and watching the races, and we hope that we see you in the next one. We saw a great race tonight, hoping to keep that streak going here in the NR2003 simulation season. That's going to be it for our broadcast tonight. Again, thank you to all of our viewers, and we'll catch you in the next race.